Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another Industria development stream. Today we're going to be continuing working on the shaking table. And yeah, we're basically gonna go straight into it today. So here we are. We have good old IntelliJ. And yeah, as I say, we're going to go straight into it. So where we left off, we were in the shaking table block entity. There we go. And I said between streams I might start working on the model. To be honest, I've been very busy today, so I haven't had the chance. I've literally just opened Blockbench, so here we are. But okay, so yes, last time we were working on the recipe, and we still have a few things to do with the recipe. So we need to make sure that the recipe actually is data gen. So we add data gen for the recipe. Hello Wide, welcome to the Ilya, welcome to the stream. So yeah, we're going to get started by doing the data gen, then we're going to do the screen, and then after we've done the screen, I think we're going to have to do some modeling. So I think that's the plan for today. Obviously, once we've got a model, we can do fancy rendering as well, which I think will be very interesting. So, as I say, we need to get started with data gen. So data gen, I think, is now on the client, right? Yeah, which I find is really weird, but I guess it kind of makes sense. So we actually do need to add all the data gen for everything else as well. So we'll do that whilst we're here. So let's do add drop in it dot shaking table. We don't do block tags because I just haven't got around to doing those yet. Is this in any particular order? I don't think so, but I think it kind of is, isn't it? No, actually, never mind. It's really not the order. That's good to know. Why are you back to doing streams? This is so unusual. I don't know what this timeline is. Because Wide, if you watched my video I released a couple of days ago, or whenever I released it, I don't know if it was it yesterday? Was it the day before? I think it was the day before yesterday. If you watched that video, you would know that we are going to be back to doing these streams and videos and everything. So that's why. So we do that and then that. There we go. Entity, don't have that. Fluid, don't have that. Item tag, don't have that. Model, we are going to have we're going to have a yes, item. When is the first video gonna release? The first tutorial, I don't know. I'm not going to have a chance to do it next week, since I have a friend coming round, or staying around that week. So probably not actually at all next week, I don't think, unless I can get one recorded before Monday, which is possible. I might be able to do that. But then after that, they should be back on a normal schedule. So I'm going to try and aim for, I think, Monday and Friday tutorials. Originally, I tried for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I don't think that's realistic. So I will try for Monday and Friday, but that may end up being too much. So I may end up with just releasing a tutorial on Wednesdays. Either way, I'm going to try and keep a schedule, is the plan. At least as to the best of my ability, I will try and keep a schedule. Obviously, that's going to be harder and harder with the tutorials getting more and more complex, as they will do. What video? I don't know, to be honest. I need to figure out where we left off. I think I left off something to do with fluids. And I think I said that the next tutorial was going to be doing fluids in GUIs. I think is what I said. So that's probably what it's going to be, I think. So that's probably the plan. And then after that, I need to do custom recipe types. That's important because that's kind of going to be the final thing in the block entity series, quote unquote series. And then, yeah, I guess after that, we'll probably do like biomes or maybe entities or something like that. So that's the plan. Okay, we need to create a new builder here. So I'm going to copy the mixer. And we're going to do shaking table recipe builder. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to announce on the Discord. I knew I forgot something. Quickly just... Oh, that's done and dusted. Okay. Fantastic. Hello, Adaharsh. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so we're going to have a just single Industria ingredient, which is the input. We're going to have... We're not going to have an input fluid. We're not going to have min and max temperature. We are going to have an output. We are going to have an output slurry. And then... If we change this to shaking table recipe, we should be able to see everything else. Well, I think we have the... Yes, the frequency as well. So we can have a private, final, int, frequency. Like that. Okay, and then we just need to fix the constructor. So this will just be an input. We're not going to have input fluid. We're not going to have a max temperature. We're going to have a output for that. And then we're also going to have an int frequency. Like that. This will just be this.input. We're not going to have any of those. And then we're going to have frequency like that. And then here, this will just be those, except we don't have the category. And then the rest is fine. I think this can be a single line, can't it? Yeah, just about. Perfect. 1.21.8 is out, but my mod is doing 1.21.4. Yeah, I think Industria is currently in 1.21.5. Yes. I want to update it to 1.21.8 at some point. I don't know how much work that's going to be, though. I know there's been some more NBT changes with block entity. I don't really touch that yet. So, we'll see. I will probably do that at some point. It might even be the next stream, maybe. That might be what we do next time, because it is something I have to do at some point. So... let me put this there and there. I can do that. Or this. Because obviously we need to have these methods every single time. So off a shaking table recipe, and hopefully it figured it out. Kind of. So the thing it missed is that it needs to be recipe generator.getRecipe name. But other than that, that actually worked perfectly. That's good. Have they done a lot of rewrites in each 1.21 version? Yes, they have done a significant number of rewrites. With pretty much everything, really. Other than, I think the one thing that has managed to stay pretty well untouched, world gen, actually. They haven't really touched that in quite a long time now. All the world gen enthusiasts, that's pretty good news, but for everyone else, that's pretty terrible news. So rendering has taken a massive hit, but that makes sense, and it was expected because obviously what am I looking for? Oh, I was looking for this. Okay. Yeah, it's obviously taking a hit because they're working on Vibrant Vanguard, which is always interesting. Asset height underscore this is actually going to be crash like that, and then we're also going to want not crashed, we're going to want concentrated cassiterite, or it's not really cassiterite, is it, when it's concentrated? It's I mean, it is, I guess that's the wrong name. It's probably better to call it like cassiterite underscore concentrate would be a more accurate name. I am probably going to also want crushed bauxite at some point as well. So I think I'll probably take the normal route of like you can crush it to get 2x, and then you have to do this whole process to get like a lot more than that. I think that makes the most sense. So at some point I'll do crushed bauxite as well, and then also crushed whatever the zinc. I don't know what the zinc is. What am I looking for? I'm looking for zinc, natural mineral. That'd be like a zinc sulfide or something, right? I imagine. Valerite, apparently. Valerite. I'm probably saying that wrong. But yes, it is actually zinc sulfide. Good to know. We'll get to that when it comes to it. It should be pretty similar to cassiterite, hopefully. Because if not, then that's going to be a pain in the butt. There's also an anomaly factory. That would make sense why, yes, because it uses GregTech. And GregTech does have most of these things. So I'm not particularly surprised. Okay, first thing I need to do is offer a crushing recipe. Because we need that. So we're going to take in raw cassiterite, and then we're going to... See, that's a 1-to-1. I don't want a 1-to-1. I want... But didn't I make it so I can have like a bonus? Or no? Yeah, so I made it so I can pass in an int provider. And then a float provider. So I could do a uniform uniform int provider between like 2 and 3. I guess I want the chance to be 1, but I kind of want to map this to chance. I guess that's not going to be possible. How my code is. Oh, actually, I guess what I could do, I could have this be 1 or 2, which has 100% chance, and then I could have another one, which is going to be the same thing between like 1 and 2, or just 1 actually would be fine, and then that could have like a 30% chance, right? So if I do about 30%, what's that? That's 3 over 10. Okay. Like that. And then, yeah, that's raucous. Right. Hello, Basti. Welcome to the stream. Can't work on it this weekend. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's not an urgent thing anyways, to be honest. Yeah, it's not completely urgent. Hello. You never told me how to exactly pronounce your name. But I think you said just pronounce it as one word, so I'm going to try and do that. Hello, Hazen Party. Welcome to the stream. I definitely butchered that again. But here we are. And hello, Alex. Welcome. Okay. So, Citrite slurry is something we need. And there we go. Okay, and that says it's going to be half, which isn't entirely correct. I mean, really, this is just... Really what it's outputting here is actually just, like, clay. So... I'm just going to have slurry in it.clay. And then I'm going to have in slurry in it. I have a slurry, clay, slurry. There you go. And that's half a bucket. I don't know if that's necessarily what I want, but we'll see. I need to find out what the frequency will be. And apparently it's anywhere in the range from 180 to 325 per minute. So if we say like 250 and then divide that by 60 because it's per second, right? Frequency is per second. Is that right? I think so. So then that would be like 4. Would be a good number. Okay. And then process time, that's fine. This just produces 1. Once again, I think numbers, anyone who doesn't know in terms of like recipe balancing and stuff, I'm not really going to do that right now. I'm going to leave that until the end because it's not super important at the moment. If anyone wants to come along someday and make a PR to balance all the recipes, feel free. But for now, that's far from being a priority. So This will be fine for this is fine. Okay, perfect, and then perfect. Okay, the other thing I do need to do, actually, I need to go straight back into there because I need to do the usual recipes, which is the smelting, if I can find it. Oh yes. Oh no, I've already done that. Okay, that's fine. I might have actually already done that. Yeah, so I've got the ores there, and then is that in a smelting recipe somewhere? Aluminium, tin. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So that's already handled there. Okay. That's great because that means I don't have to do that, which saves me a bunch of time. That's nice. So let's run data gen, get that out of the way. That's done and dusted. We don't have to touch that ever again. And then I think we're ready to work on the screen, which actually means go straight back in the client package anyways. So let's create a new class. Let's call this the shaking table. Oh, shaking table screen. Extends. What's it called? Menu screen? Handled screen? God, it's been a while. And then that's a shaking table screen handler. Let me implement methods. Draw background, yes, but we're also probably gonna want. We're not gonna want in it actually, but that's fine. We are gonna want that though. Never mind, we are gonna want in it because we're gonna want to add energy widgets and stuff, so that's fine. This constructor's fine, I think. God, it has really been a while. All right, see you, Vasti. But I'm not an unc-wide. How dare you call me unc? I am not an unc. I'm not even close to being in that territory yet, man. But I'm 21. What do you mean? I'm not 23. Was that Alex? If 20s is Unc, that means you're Unc next month, right? I can call you Unc next month. So be careful what you ask for. There you go. And we can do Industria.id. Textures, GUI, container, shaking table. Perfect. That worked perfectly fine, actually. We're going to want this and this, but that's not going to be the values if we're being honest. Do you think you'll be able to finish this today? I hope so. I really do hope so. But, I mean, we'll see. I think GUI texture is the one you want. I honestly haven't done this in so long. I think that's correct. That looks correct. Okay, shaking table screen. And we're going to need to register that in the client in here. Handled screens dot register screen handler. Oh, screen. Oh my god. Screen handler. There it is. Dot shaking table. Okay. Perfect. there we go. So that's that. We're going to want to add an energy widget, but we can't really do this until we've actually created the GUI texture. So I think we'll do that first. Okay, so that's paint.net open. Okay. So let me just find the vanilla G, and then we'll go from... Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find an existing one that we have here. Here we go. So source, main, resources, assets, industry, texture, Y, container, and we'll find one that we can paste. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with the mixer. Well, no, because the mixer's big and we don't actually need it to be that big. The digester is actually almost perfect, isn't it? We just need one extra slot. No, 2 extra slots. So we need an input slot and an output slot. Hello, Seamless. Welcome to the stream. So if we do something like that, now this isn't an output slot though, so I'm gonna have to find an output slot. Here we go. Are we gonna fit this in here? It's gonna be a bit tight, but it is just about gonna fit. Yeah, should just about fit. Now, is this actually centered? Is the big question. Does it look centered? Quite hard to tell. So, how tall is that? That's 8. That's 7. 3 high? Ah, damn it. But this isn't actually 3 high. Oh, this is an even number, right? No, it's 17. Ah! Oh. Okay, 1 second. I will be right back, chat. Hello everyone, I am back. I went to go get some water since I realized I don't have any. Water. I have been around a track. That was actually the first time I ever drove anything. What am I doing? And that was around the track. Which was very good fun. That's also the fastest I have ever been, or the fastest I've drove. Because I went, I think I went 90. I've yet to do that in my car. Sorry. Not sure my car could even go 90. If I'm being honest, it really struggles to go 60. Like, really struggles. So, I don't know that I could even go 90 even if I wanted to. Which is quite funny. Okay, did I center this one correctly? Sure. Close enough. I mean, my car comfortably gets to 60, but it just doesn't go above 60 unless I really push it. But it doesn't really do anything. I can have my foot on the floor and it will just slowly climb beyond 60. It's quite sad. But anyways, okay, so this is the shaking table. I'm going to keep this open because I need to look at the slot positions. So, let's go. Here we go. Okay, so the input slot is at 5435. Okay, got the Y position correct. The output slot, this is going to take me a minute because it's a different size, so I have to find the center. 107.36, that's not correct. So that needs to go up one. So I'm just moving that output slot up a single pixel. What did I say? 107? Did I say 107? I think so. I hope so. Although I haven't actually checked the it's fine actually. Okay. And then it wants the first bucket slot, which is the one for the water, and that is at 26 and 60, and then the other one is also going to be at 60, but it's going to be at 134. I got 134 correct. I'm somewhat impressed that Copilot managed that. So here we are. What's the actual size of this GUI as well? 176 by 174, so it needs to be 174. Do you have a dream car? I don't know. I like a lot of cars, but I don't know that any of them are like a dream car. I guess I'd like a nice, like, Porsche, like a 911 or something. I guess that would be like a dream car, because that's a very cool car. I like it. I don't need to do this, do I? I've had Let's telling me to do this, but I don't think I need to. I thought that was handled in the super. Yeah, it is. Not crazy. I mean, I'm honestly not that much of a car guy. I just like... I like the look of some cars. I don't really care that much, though. I'd be happy to just have my car for the next, like, 10 years. So yeah, that's kind of how I see it. How do I add a... Do I need to do this? Maybe. Oh, I should also probably do the progress bar, which I'm going to look at the digester for. since that's where I got it, the texture from. I also do need to do this. Wow, that's correct. Okay. See, this has done that in here, but I don't need to do this. I'm pretty sure I don't need to do this. Oh, never mind. That's the title X. That's correct then. Yes, I do need to do that. What is X, Y, and index? You mean in the screen? Huh. I assume you mean this. So the index is like the index of the slot, right? So, so like this is slot 0, this is slot 1, this is slot 2, 3, 4, whatever, all the way up to 8. And then this is slot 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then you also have a separate like inventory up here. So this is slot 0, this is slot 1, this is slot 2, and this is slot 3. And then the X and Y is just the top left position of the slot. So this pixel right here. And then for this one, it's... nope, not that one. I've got to find the middle. 16 by 16 center. That's the center, so that makes it this pixel right here. Which is 107.35. And that's just how I get those numbers. Are you just making a sifter? Pretty much, yes, basically. That is effectively what I'm doing. A sifter, but it uses water and energy. Effectively, yeah. That is what I am doing. I'm going to copy, actually, this from the digester as well. That's going to be exactly the same. In fact, both of these are going to be exactly the same. So that saves me some time. This is an output slurry tank, though. So these might be the wrong position. Yeah, so this actually has them the wrong way around. So this one should actually be a fluid widget. And then this will be the input fluid tank. And then this one is a slurry widget. And then this is the output slurry tank. So this one's the input fluid tank. Well, this one. And then this one is the output slurry tank. And then there's the energy bar, by the way. So we're going to need to do that next. Well, no, we don't need to do that because that's already done. Because I copied it. So that's good. And then I can also copy the progress bar as well, which is nice and simple. And actually, I just saw that I also do need this. So this is just for tooltips when you're hovering over a slot, which for some reason you need to do manually. I don't know why, but you do. So that's nice, isn't it? And then that should be it. Like, that should actually be it. So we can actually go ahead and test things. Oh, obviously we don't have a model, but that's fine. So, let's quickly do the data gen for those 2 new items we added as well. Because otherwise I'll forget to do them and it'll just never happen. So we're going to do so we need to do English language, and we need to do translation builder dot add item init dot crushed cassiterite, and then also translation builder dot add item init dot cassiterite concentrate, like that. I'm probably going to add like a percentage to this item. There's like some MBT data or something, so that it has like it's concentrated to a certain percentage. I think that's probably a good idea for that. But we'll come back to that. That's a future problem. Welcome back, Ilya. Welcome back to the stream. We also need to add them in here, so let's quickly do that. Register item init dot crushed cassiterite, and then register item init dot right concentrate, like that. Okay, then let's run data gen. Let that do its thing. Give it a it anytime today. There we go. Let's just check that that's actually created some new files. New count. Yeah, so it's written 5 files. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the client and we'll see if it crashes. I'm going to check the generated folder. I'm curious if it's created that recipe for us. Data, Industria, recipe, and we're looking for, so there's the crusher recipe, but also looking for shaking table recipe. So we can see type shaking table, frequencies 4, input, has the ingredients, which is just crushed cassiterite. Output with a 100% chance and a count of 1 will be cassiterite concentrate. Then we have an output slurry, which we're just saying is clay slurry. And then process time of 200. Didn't I say that the output had... I think I changed the output, didn't I? But that hasn't updated, so did that not work? Output item stack might not work correctly. We might have to come back to that in the future. Because that should have worked. Interesting. Okay. I should probably make a new world, shouldn't I? Because I've really broken this one. Oh, the lag. Just let it load everything. A hot minute. Okay. So. Let's try find the... What are we looking for? The shaking table. There it is. So hopefully it should place down and it should be a multi-block. That would be a good first start. Okay, that's not a great first start. Oh no, it has actually worked. It's just the voxel shape hasn't worked. Or the voxel shape has worked, but it's because it's only a slab shape. That's fine though. That's fine. Okay, so we should be able to right click this. Okay, it does not like that. Size of inventories does not match the size provided for. Interesting. So why not is the question. Is that because... Did I forget to actually add the 2 bucket slots, maybe? What I'm thinking? Because if I didn't add those, then that's not going to work. 1, 2, 3... No, I did. Oh. Oh, the inputs have a size of 9. And the output is a size of 9. I don't think I meant to do that. I just want it to be a size of 1. I didn't mean to make it a size of 9. I don't think. That's fine. Okay. Let's just give it a minute to reload the game. And I'm going to make a new world, by the way. Just because I've broken that one. Completely dead. And I'm going to make a super flat world so that it's more stream friendly. So, single player. I'm just going to yoink that world. And I probably need to yoink... No, this one's probably fine. This one should be fine. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I thought this world had more in it, to be honest. I thought it had the mixer and digester and stuff, but apparently not. So that's good to know. Okay, and obviously the tab is completely reordered again. I need to fix that at some point so it doesn't reorder every single time. But here we are. I'm gonna put it there. Oh wow, that was lag. Why? Too far away. Oh. What happened? Well, to handle container ID. Wait, why are there so many slots? What the fuck? Why are there so many slots? Oh, is that the player inventory as well? Probably. I don't really know what's happening though. I am rather suspicious. Let's have a look. Let's go in here and we're just going to have a look at what's happening. So, inventory size of 4, that's fine. Property size of 2, that's fine. We add 4 slots, that's fine. Can use is fine. Let's look at the digester screen. Check that we're not missing. We are actually going to want this. That's a mighty point. But that's not the problem. Interesting. So this has index 0 for both of them. I don't think that's correct, though. I think this should be index 0 and index 1. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Let's check the mixer. Oh. Or not. I could be wrong. So if the mixer is correct, then in fact these should all be index 0. And that means that the index is actually per inventory rather than like, I guess that makes sense. What is happening? We're trying to get this screen to work wide, but it's currently crashing, so that's suboptimal behavior. But we're going to try and get this to work. So let's load back into the world. It should work this time. If that was the problem, then it should work. I don't know why I'm over here. Is the block gone? The block's gone. Because it didn't save because it crashed. Okay. So it works now. The texture doesn't work. I don't know why. Let's try F3 and T. Interesting. Does Corp and Joe still stream? I honestly have no idea. I don't keep up with what he does anymore whatsoever, so I couldn't tell you. I assume so. I don't know why he wouldn't be. I don't think he has any other responsibilities. So I would assume he still streams. But yeah, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Why isn't this working? Textures GUI container shaking table.png. Textures UI container shaking underscore table.png. Am I crazy? Am I missing something? It's definitely there. Texture. Industria. Textures. GUI. Container. Shaking underscore table dot PNG. How weird. What does it say in the logs? It doesn't say anything. That makes me think. Oh, it's this. Oh, I see. I don't think it's meant to be GUI texture. No, I think it is GUI texture. One second. Let me look at digest stats. This just uses draw texture. So maybe it is meant to be texture. That's the UV like that. Okay, let's run debug mode as well so that we can see a little bit better what. And debug it if this happens again. I suspect. Actually, I didn't think it was draw texture. But I guess I'm wrong. I don't really know the difference, if I'm being honest, between draw GUI texture and draw texture. I would think they're the same thing, but I guess they're not, so. Well, I don't know. Anyone knows? I would like to know. Okay. Yeah, I think I have had this problem in the past. It's because, logically, to me, GUI texture would be the one that you draw for GUIs. But I don't think it is, which is weird. I mean, maybe I can look inside draw GUI texture. Yeah, see, I think it's because it gets it from the atlas. And I think for whatever reason, I don't know, I guess for whatever reason my GUI isn't in the atlas. Maybe it's not in the correct place. I don't know. Hello Super Z, welcome to the stream. And there we go. That all works. All the slots are in the right place. Energy's working. Tooltip's working. Okay, so shall we see if it actually works then? So, I guess we can't see if it works because... Okay, what is up with this? Too far away. Weird. I think... Yeah. But I'm not even too far away, am I? So this is too far away? This is not too far away. Like, look how far away I can open this chest. And yeah, I can't open this from here. That's weird. It must be this. Maybe this dot contacts? Is the context not created correctly? Play inventory, don't give, don't get world. Block entity, don't get pause. I mean, that should be fine. Can use player. I don't know. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I don't know why that would be the case, that I can't open it from here. You know what I think it is? I think it's because of the multi-block. Maybe. And I think maybe me clicking here thinks that it's clicking here. And then... I don't know how that would change anything, because I'm still not that far away. So I don't know why it's doing that. But anyways, beside the point, because it's not that important. I can fix it later on. You know, I'll add a to-do. So I don't forget. Because I'm pretty sure can use just checks that, doesn't it? Or does can use not actually check that? Can interact with block at. I don't think so. If not, I could always just check it manually. Either way, once again, not that important. So the kind of next thing we need to do is we need to make it so we can actually add like ports, right? We need to make it so we can add in energy, we can add items, we can add fluids, etc, etc. So the part I kind of hate the most, because it's a horrible method. So someday I will definitely come back and write a better multi-block system, but I don't have to do this. But here we are. So I think we have a list of something. I'm gonna have to check, aren't I? Let's look at the mixer. Oh, let's check this actually, by the way. So in the mixer, because I think I fixed this, but I'm not 100% sure, so... Oh. Okay, I don't know what happened there. There's definitely some issues with multi-blocks. I think I've broken something at some point. Either way, the issue was when I put an item in these slots, it was moving around. Yeah, that's fine. That's fixed. That's kind of what I thought. So I can match. There we go. Okay. I just closed that. I meant to keep it. And what I'm looking for is this. There you go. And okay, so yeah, this is going to be really hard to do without a model. Okay, what I can do for now is I can do energy. But I'm going to say for now, if offset from primary dot y equals 0 and direction is equal down direction. down. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do transfer types dot add or dot put direction computer absent actually. There you go. New array list dot add, and then I add the transfer type dot energy. Okay. And then the other one I'm going to do is if offset from primary dot y is equal 1 and direction is equal up, then what we're going to do is we're going to add fluid. And we're going to add a fluid in here as well. So then we basically have, oh no, not fluid, we want a slurry. And then this is fluid in the top. And then we're also going to have an item in the top as well. So transfer type dot item. We're also going to have an item in the bottom as well. Just for now, probably going to change this later. And then we just do multi-blockable to IO port map transfer types like that. And that should work for now. How does the bucket work? That's north and south. Okay, that's fine then. And then yeah, the fluid storage is direction to up. The energy storage is all right, so that's fine. And then the slurry storage is down, so that's fine. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So, that should be, I think, the IO port map done. Yeah, I think so. So we should now be able to recreate it. But before we do that, I'm going to create a model. And that is so that we can actually see something. So in order to do this, we're going to want a renderer, first of all. So let's create a new class, and let's call this the shaking table block entity renderer, which is going to extend Industria block entity renderer of a shaking table block entity. That's going to want the render method, of course. And then it's going to want the super constructor, which is fine. I don't think we need anything special there. Oh, actually, we are going to want a model. Yes, we're going to want a private final shaking table model, and then this dot model will context dot this shaking table model dot layer location. And then all we need to do is we need to, I think we just render it. I don't think we need to do any transformations because I think those are done by super. So I think it's just model dot render. And then this will be your buffer takes in a render layer. So this is going to be shaking table model texture location. And then this is just light and overlay, I think. But we'll have to see when we actually create the model class. Have you had a nice day? I have had a, once again, very midday. Once again, haven't really done it. That's mostly because I've had family around. I haven't really been able to. But it's been a midday. Just kind of your average day, I guess. How's your day been, Wide? You had a good day? What am I looking for right now? Oh, this. I'm looking. Block entity, renderer, factories, dot, register, block entity type init, dot, shaking table, renderer. Perfect. I played I cannot speak. I played Nomi Factory. That's it. Damn. Well, if that's what you enjoy doing, Wide, then that's good for you. Very good for you if that's what you enjoyed. I couldn't play Minecraft all day anyway. I used to be able to. I just can't do that anymore. I just get so bored. Because it's always just exactly the same. It's never any different. So, especially modded. Modded is actually, I honestly just find modded so much more boring than vanilla nowadays. Because it's always exactly the same. Which seems kind of crazy, but why didn't you stream all day? Because, Ilya, I had family around. Not just day. And yeah, I had other things I still gotta do. I can't just stream all. That'd be crazy. Also, I don't think anyone will watch a stream during the day. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that no one would watch a stream. Maybe they do. Not me, but... good evening, Romeo. Welcome to the stream. Does anyone remember what I said about north-south? Like, north-facing with the model? What did I say faced north? Oh, actually, I made a diagram. Didn't I? Diagram. I think what I said is that the... So, let me open... I think I said that... Like, this would be the back, I think? I'm not sure. Wait, I can check. I can check. Because I can go into here. And then I can look at find position. And because that doesn't support rotation right now. Oh, no, it does actually support rotation. Okay. So if it's north-south facing, then we're saying it's -2 on the Z. X, D. So that means it's rotated 90 degrees anti-clockwise then. So the north would be this face. This is the south face. This is east, this is west. Do you like cake? I quite like cake, yes. But honestly, cake is just such a rare thing to have, you know? I couldn't even tell you the last time I had cake. Other than like maybe at like a restaurant. But even that's like pretty rare. You can have cake without milk though, or you can have cake with like almond milk. Or I think you can have I mean, I think technically you can do a cake with water instead of milk, but I think it's kind of weird when you. Cake is nice, but I could honestly very easily live without it. Like very, because I just don't have it often. One of those things that it's nice to have when you have it, but you know, if you don't have it for, you know, too long, you're not like you just don't really care that much about it. That's kind of the way I think about it. You guys will need to excuse my modeling because okay. I need to see how so that's 2, 4, 6. And then that's 6. Okay, I actually centered that fine. So all I need to do now is just move these to be back by 16. So negative 16. And then we can duplicate. Okay, I'm gonna have to do one by one because otherwise I'm. Oh, actually, I guess I could just do 16, 32. Brownies are great, man. I bought some brownies the other day. Actually, I still even have the box. I don't know if you can read it. About. I need to put those in the bin. Actually, that reminds me. But yeah, they're great. I love brownies. I'm gonna buy some more. But yeah, brownies have milk in them, so yeah. This is fine. This doesn't look right. Have I mathed wrong somewhere? I think I have. So that's 9. So then 10, 11. So that means there's 1, 2. Wait, that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the wrong way around. That makes sense actually, because I moved it from this direction. Right, so then I need to move it 1, 2, 9. So then doing that should mean that this one has 1, 2, 5. And then that's not right. Is that right? That should be 16 this way. Is that correct? No. That's not correct. How is that not correct? If I do 16 like that, where is that in line with this? Okay, I am so confused right now. Okay, let me do that with this one. So this needs to be size of 60, right? So if we bring this to here, that means that this is 5, which is what I said originally, right? So that means that this needs to be 5 and then move it 2 in like that. And that's where it should. Is that in line, or does it need to be 1 over? That's in. Or is that? I'm not sure. I think that's actually fine how it was. But it's really hard to tell because you've got to get it perfectly straight. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So that's that. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks like that, 3 blocks like that, and then it's going to be 2 blocks up. So kind of starting from here is now where we will have the actual like table. Get this. Oh god, I'm messing up the okay, so here we have the big table. Gonna be like that. And then it's gonna go at an angle here. So be like that. And then like that. And then basically this part right here gonna go at an angle. Now, as for how to do that without it looking terrible, I don't know. I think what I'm gonna have to do and I'm not good enough at modeling for this because the problem is, right, if I just rotate the cube, then the texture is going to be rotated, right? Like if I do this, right? Bring this there. And then I rotate this cube. So let me center the pivot. If I rotate this and then vertex that. Yeah, but not like that. How do I can I get this to go in there or not? Oh no, I'm gonna have to rotate like that. And then, yeah, obviously fix the rotation. Anyways, hello Alpha Gator Studio, welcome to the stream. But like you can see here, if I do this, right, that it's rotated, the texture is actually rotated. I don't know if you can like not do that. Is that possible or no? I don't think. But how do I solve this? The question. Hmm. I'm also gonna, I think, struggle to get this down. Unless I move the pivot. If I move the pivot, if I put there, that's subtle. Let's do rotation. -80. -13. -18. -13. Like that. If I put the pivot there, and then I can rotate it from here. But like, I'm not going to be able to get this to line up. Either way, I don't. Maybe if I can't do like really like it's just jump. It's actually making bigger rotation than either way, this isn't going to solve my issue. I'm going to look at the shaking table again. I just want to know, are they all like this? Like, are they all not square? No, so actually, I can just have it be square. Looking at online, but I can actually just have it be a big square, which would save me a bunch of time. So there we go. Okay. Now, there actually needs to be like a motor here. So in reality, all of this work to get the legs in the right place was actually for nothing, because they need to move in by like a block. Because there needs to be a motor here. So yeah, that needs to come in by 16, and then that needs to move in to there. And then we're gonna have the motor here. And I think this is also the feed that comes in here as well. The other thing is that, so if I look at the, I have a specific reference image up. Let me see if I can bring it up on stream. Can I? This? There you go. I brought you up a diagram. So you guys can now see what I'm looking at. So basically, I need to have this kind of railing along the bottom, and I need to have the legs be more inwards than this. So what I can do, I actually don't really care about the legs like being like that anymore. So what I can do is, I'm not gonna make it like perfectly how it is in the image, because I don't care enough about that, but like just something like this. And then I do this. that. And like that. I think that's fine, right? And then what I guess what I might want to do, maybe, because I don't need to make it exactly like the image. What I could do is I could bring this out a little bit. Like that. I mean, maybe even... No, I think that's probably fine. Like that. Although actually, now that I think about it, that's different because this shouldn't connect to the table, because the table needs to oscillate. So... Okay, let's build this thing on the floor first. The railing thing. We'll do that first. That's going to be kind of the most... So... Basically just going to be that. Right? Except it's also going to come out another... It might even come on whether I can fit the motor in there or not. Okay, let me get rid of these two legs. Okay, so then what needs to happen, these need to be shorter, like that. And then up 2. And then this needs to go like that. And I see why that's not extended now, because this is just holding a railing on top of it. So this actually needs to be like one thick like that, and then like one like that, and then ideally something in the middle that's like that. I think makes the most sense. So if I just send that out, I think that's basically what we're aiming for. So if I now just add, if I duplicate this, that, so that's fine. I make this one thick like that, then I can do that, and I can do that, and if I duplicate this, I'm trying to make this hollow look like that. And then if I do the exact same thing here, scale this down, in, brush, boom, then that's basically sat on the railing like that, or on the, I don't know, supports, whatever you call them, right? Okay. That's fine. And then if I just duplicate this, so all of these parts, duplicate, that needs to go in, which doesn't really feel right. Because I guess actually it doesn't need to go to the end. So if I just put it in by like 4, and then I can do the same with this one. I kind of wish I could just select them. They're not a selection tool. Oh, apparently not. Is there really not a selection tool? Does anyone know if there's a selection tool? Selection tool. Aha. Never mind. I think this is for painting. Yeah, this is for painting. Ah. Kind of annoying. Are all of them? No. I already forgot how many in I moved this. 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how you can feel productive playing Minecraft all day wide. I wish I could. But if I played Minecraft all day, I would feel so incredibly unproductive. I mean, maybe that's because I have things like I need a com. But like, I don't know. I would feel so unproductive. It's because I know there's better things I could be doing. And if I know there's better things I could be doing, then I'm not gonna things that like all I think pretty much all the time I'm playing games, I know that I could probably be doing programming. So and I usually don't have an excuse for not doing. That's my problem. That's why I don't play games that much. Okay. So that's fine. I'm trying to see from this diagram how the hell the oscillation works, because it's meant to be back and forth, right? So like where's the railing that allows unless I'm misunderstanding how I don't know. I'm just gonna make something up. So then there needs to be some kind of railing. Wait, it doesn't move horizontally too, right? I don't think it does. Is there any non-tech mods you have previously made? No. Well, not really. I mean, kind of. Like, I've made some mods, but most of them have just been, like, silly. Like, I made a mod that makes every block, you know? Which I still have yet to update to a newer version. I probably should. Well, I'm kind of against updating it, because it is technically a cheat, and it does technically mean that you can go infinitely fast. But, you know. I don't know. I'll probably come back to it at some point anyway. We'll see. But like, not really. But my mic did not cut out. I saw it on OBS, it did not cut out. I have OBS open, man. Okay, actually, let's try something. We're gonna try something. Okay, this might make me sound absolutely atrocious. Okay. Does that make me sound atrocious? Somehow there's still not any background noise. Okay, well, if I have been cutting out, this should stop me from cutting out. But I don't think I've been cutting out. I'm pretty sure I haven't been cutting out, because I'm pretty sure I already fixed that by removing... what was it? A limiter, I think I had? Yeah, I removed the limiter, and I think that fixed that, but... Yeah, I've now removed the noise gate. So... There's zero way in which I could still be cutting out. In theory. Because all I have now is, I have noise suppression and I have a compressor. And neither of those should cut anything out. So, we'll see. Anyways, let's put this in here. Let's go, not like that, like this. There we go, and that just needs to be one, like that. One, two. Then I need to duplicate, and I need to move it up, and then I need to move it. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And then I need to take this one. Hello, hello. This one. I need to do boom, and then boom. And then make this one like too high. I'm actually gonna make these a different color because I don't like them being the same color. Let's do, we'll do red. Okay, let's duplicate. Move it over here. There we go. Okay. And then there needs to be some way for it to move back and forwards. So on top of this, I'm going to have some kind of thing that lets it do that. So if I put something like there. Yeah, so like this. 1, 2. I don't really know what I'm doing, by the way. For anyone who's like, well, I don't know what you could be like, but I have no idea what I'm doing, okay? I'm just kind of like coming up with something that kind of makes sense in my head, and then hoping that that works. So it just needs to kind of look like it maybe works, and that's good enough for me. So that's the plan. So I duplicate. Once again, models are the kind of thing that can be changed in the future. Like as long as there's still some like part of the model that can move back and forth, it won't affect the code or anything. So it should be fine. So if I'm gonna move this down a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna move this bit because this bit's a bit large. It doesn't need to be quite that large. So if I go down one like that, that means that I can then move this down one like that, and then these can all get moved down one. Okay, and then what that allows me to have is like this. I'm thinking like this. And then I just kind of close the end off, maybe? Oh, did I do that wrong? I think I did, yes. I meant to grab the blue one, but it's kind of hard to tell what I'm grabbing. Hello, Lucky Luke. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so the plan is to have basically this. So if I just take these... In fact, let me delete this one first. And then I can take this. And this. And... Oh, never mind. Well, that's fine. Okay. I just need to move this over here. But these are too high. These just need to be to there. And then these two need to be grouped. So move to group, or group elements. Yeah, there you go. And I need to add the table to that group as well. Like that. Okay. Perfect. So basically how that works is that this will be able to then move like that. It's not going to jump like that. It is actually going to move like somewhat smoothly, but that will be fine. Like that. Okay. And then all I need to do is I need to grab this whole thing and I need to copy it over here. That's going to take a minute, so just need to delete all of these. And then I need to select every single thing that is in here and copy paste it. So that's the plan. Okay, like that, like that. Okay, then we've got that. Is that missed any? I think that's all of them. Let's duplicate. See if anything's missing real quick. It all looks okay. It's a good start. Okay. So then we have this whole table which should be able to move back and forth like that. It doesn't entirely make sense, but we're going to say it's good enough. So I'm going to rename this to the table. And I'm going to move it to the top. And I will kind of group everything as well afterwards, just to have it be a little bit cleaner. I know for performance you probably shouldn't, but I like to have my models tidy, so I'm going to. Okay, so the next thing we need is the motor. Which is going to sit here. Also, oh no, that's fine. I'm wondering if I should move these in a little bit more. Maybe. But that's going to be a pain in the butt, man. It really is. What should we do? Okay. It's just because this is very close to the edge and the motor's gonna sit here. And it's just like, is there gonna be enough space like in this area underneath the table for it to connect? Looking at the diagram, I don't know if I can't zoom in or anything. But it's connected on like a spring pulley kind of system. So I think it'll be fine. You know, I'm actually going to group everything right now. I'm going to get that done just so I can clean up the hierarchy a little bit. So there is a yellow one there and a yellow one there. And let's just move these out of the way just to make sure, yeah, that those are all done. So if I now group elements, I'm going to call this the floor supports. Okay, then we have these parts. So let's do these. And that one. Yeah, let's just do all of this as like a single group, even though they're kind of like separate things. They're never going to like move independently, so that's moved group elements. And yeah, that's all of that moved out of the way. Okay, so I will rename this to be leg 1. Okay, I'm going to center the pivot as well so that that's done and dusted. And then I'm actually going to delete the other one. Yeah, I'm going to delete the other one real quick. Wait, I accidentally deleted the yellow bit. I didn't want to delete the yellow bit. I want to delete everything other than the yellow bit. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So then I can just duplicate leg 1, and then that becomes leg 2. Now, question, will you get someone to redo the models eventually? That is the plan, yeah. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. I think it depends on just what happens with the mod in general. I don't know. I'm gonna move it in 1, 2, 3, by the way. Because the thing is, for a model like this, I'm not going to be able to make the texture for it anyways, or at least it wouldn't be a good texture, it would be a terrible one. So it's kind of like I don't have a huge choice. At some point I'm going to have to get someone to at least texture it, and the person that textures it is probably going to end up being someone who can do models as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future I will be able to kidnap Ilya and make him and make him do it. Who knows? But I'm not really worried about it right now. Anyways, it's very much a future concern. So I'm gonna move these in a little bit. 1, 2, maybe. We'll do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we can go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I can center some pivots whilst I'm at it. So leg 1, just make sure that's pivoted. Center pivot, and then table, center pivot. Perfect. Okay, now we can do the motor. Now, one thing I need to figure out is where exactly... What the hell's happened here? Oh, because it's created it. I see. That's confusing. Not you, Ilya? Why not? Why can't I kidnap you? I'm gonna extend this out to there. Oh, it's floating. That's why it looked weird. I was like, why does it look so weird? It's because it's floating. Okay. So that's basically as far out as I can have it. I can't have it any further out than that. Okay. So then all I need to do is I need to put this there. We need to make a big box in the sky. Like that or something. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it actually comes up to like here, so it's in like actually like in line with this. So it needs to be like that. I mean, it's 12 by 14. It needs to be like that or something. But no, there needs to be a little bit more space for it to like flex and stuff. So that's would be fine. So what's that? That's 12 by 14 still. So it needs to go... It can be thinner than it is long. So that's fine, actually. And then we can go down a little bit. So then that makes that's 11. We'll go 10. I think that's fine. All right, see ya, Ilya. Okay. I think like that's fine. And then basically this needs to have some kind of like base. I'm actually going to change the color before I do that. So let's do marker color. We'll make it pink. And move it down. Okay. So we're going to give it like a little like platform like this. And then it's going to need some kind of legs. We might have to do some maths in a second. Which I don't really want to do, but I think we're going to have to. Okay, I'm gonna... I don't think that's what I meant to do, never mind. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Because I want it like half the size, but that's not gonna work unless I make this bigger. I mean, I can make this longer, I guess. So I could do like that. Sure, that's fine, isn't it? Because that doesn't go over the edge. Yeah, that's fine. And then... I don't know. For some reason it has some like weird little things there. I guess I'll add those just to give it a little bit more shape. So, like this, basically. I don't know what those are. Just some weird little things, I think. Let me move this to a group as well. So we can keep track of that. Okay. So unfortunately from the diagram, we can't see what this little contraption looks like. But I think basically it's just a spring. I think that's all it is, and it's just like pulled in by some like little thing on here. Like pulled back and forth by obviously the motor that's in here. So I'm obviously I can't like model a spring because you know I just can't. That's not gonna work. But that's okay because we don't really need to model a spring. We just need to show. We need to have some kind of part that moves basically. So that's all that matters. Okay, like that, because we just need some quick supports in here. And like that. We can move these in a little bit, so we can do like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay, and then we just need some diagonal, and this is going to be the part that's a pain in the butt, because it's just a pain to make diagonals. So we need something that goes... I think we're going to have to use some maths to do this properly, because basically we need to determine the angle between here and here. I mean, we can know... So we can figure out the hypotenuse, right? So if we reset this to 0. So what we know is that from... Oh. From here to the edge. So I think that's in line. I hope so. I guess I can check by doing that. Yeah, okay. So this down here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it's 10 high. Does that actually mean it's... Yes, I think that's correct. So 10 high, 8, 10. So let me get up the calculator. So we'll do 8 and 10. So we know that the hypotenuse is 12.80625. So that's going to be the length of the cube. And then the angle we need to calculate. Is there just a nice triangle calculator I can use? Because that would be nice. Okay. So we know that... Let me bring this up. So we don't know that, but we know that this one is going to be 90 degrees because that's a right angle. We know that this side is 10. This side is 8. This side is 12.8, but it can calculate that for me, I think. So if I do calculate, does that give me everything I need? Yes, so that tells us that the angle of the piece is going to be 51 degrees. So, if I make this, what am I doing? I'm getting lost. Hello, Starbro123, welcome to the stream. If we make this a size of the 12 number, actually, let's give it the angle first. So the angle is going to be, what, Z? Yes. And if we go Z, it's 51.34. And that didn't work, I don't think. 51. Oh, I've... it's copied in the formatting. That's suboptimal, isn't it? 51.34. Does it need to be... It needs to be negative, doesn't it? Because it's gonna be like that. Okay. So then if I snap this vertice with... here, in theory, if I make this cube 12.80625 in length, in theory, I need to vertex snap it afterwards because otherwise that's not going to work. Oh no! I messed it up. I did it too many across. It needs to be one more this way. So actually the bottom number is actually 7. Which kind of messes everything up. Because that means that the angle is now 55.008. And then if I vertex snap that to there, and then for the length, that's now going to be this number, which once again I forgot to vertex snap afterwards, but you can see that that now connects. Nice. Perfect. So now I just need to duplicate this to put it there. And then we need to do the other side. So the other side should be identical, luckily. The difference is that it will need to be... it will need to be what? It's not going to be that. It's going to be... is it going to be this? Oops. No, I did that wrong, didn't I? It's, wait, it's not just 55 point... I'm trying to math, man. 008. That was the number, right? Oh, it is. It is just that. So, actually, that all that means then is that I can now vertex snap this to there. Not to there. I can vertex snap this to there. And then duplicate. Move it there. Oh, I accidentally got rid of that one. Rather than what it was meant to do. And there you go. Boom. So I will group these elements and I will just call this the motor legs. This is going to be the motor. Okay, that does look really weird though, doesn't it? Is there not a no like vertical supports or anything? I might add some because it looks kind of weird. It looks very unsupported. So what I could do is I could add like a horizontal to make this an add a horizontal beam, yeah. So if I duplicate, I don't know what I just did. If I duplicate this and get rid of all the rotations and whatever, like that, -16, we just got to fix these. So that's, you know, the right numbers. And then if I just put this here, is that perfectly in? I think that is. So if I duplicate that, put it there, boom. Now that's got a lot more support. Ideally, I would also add one across here as well. So I might do that too. How am I going to do that though? Because it's only 1 pixel in thickness. So that's not really gonna work. I guess I could do it across the middle, actually. That could work. So I could do like here. Trying to find the middle. That's not correct. Oh no, that would be correct, wouldn't it? It's only going to be a 2 pixel middle. So I mean I could do that, which is better than nothing. But ideally, obviously, this would be here. But I can't really do that. I mean, Maybe if I... Maybe if I do this... I was hoping it would resize in the middle. And it works like if I do that, I guess. I could do that. Or, actually, here's what I could do. Is I could duplicate one of these legs. Put it in the middle. And then... if I make the size, like 2... Ah, that's a shame. Can I still make that work? I think so, because I think I can move it in local space. I think. Local. So then that lets me do this. Aha, you see? Which means that I can do this. And then I can do the same here. So duplicate. We can do size of 1. And put it there. And bring it across. Boom. Perfect. And that's perfectly all synced up as well. Okay, so that's pretty much all done. The only thing left to do is to add a connecting part between these. I thought we were going to get this done today, but this modeling has turned out taking a lot longer than I expected it to. But well, it is what it is. So the connecting part should be really easy, if we're being realistic. It's just going to be like a cube. It's, and maybe I'll fancy it up a little bit, or at least try to. Let's do lime. Okay. So if we just extend this out, this is probably the part that's actually going to look the worst. Because it's going to be kind of hard to make it look good. So if we do 1, 2, 1, 2, so that's like the plate that will go against it. And then basically how I think it works is that you would have 2 springs, like 2 supporting springs on either side that would connect to this plate. Right, which kind of stops it from just like pulling out. I think, if I understand correctly. But they wouldn't be connected like that. I'm kind of looking at the diagram as well, which kind of helps here. So, see, ideally it would be like there. So, if I go in one, and out one there, right? And then like that, then I can do this. And basically this would be the springs. And then, I don't know how, but these need to connect somehow. I really need more space, man. There isn't space. Which is kind of something I've messed up a little bit. Hello, Aleatorio. Welcome to the stream. Let's do... if I do this... No, that only works if these are even shorter. Because there needs to be like just something that can stop there from being too much tension, I guess. Like this is what I'm thinking. I think that would work. And we're basically imagining these two parts right here are the springs. So if I do marker color, we'll make them green. So these parts are lime, that's green. And then we'll just make that a group. So we'll do group elements, and this will be the motor connection. And then I'm going to group these two as the springs. And then this motor connection needs to go inside of the table because that needs to move with the table. Right. So now the table will just move back and forth like this. Actually, now that I think about it, the springs shouldn't be inside the table. Those need to be inside the motor. So then what you end up with is this. So this moves back and forth like this. Everything else is completely stationary. And then the springs will just retract / expand depending on how much it's moved by. So I think that's basically it. There are obviously some... no, I've forgotten the most important part. Oh, I thought I was done. We're not done because I forgot to have the railings on the table, which are actually very important because otherwise you will just have stuff falling off the table, which wouldn't be ideal. So luckily this is just going to be a very simple border. But we are also probably going to want the water funnels as well. Oops, messed that one up. And something like that. Just looking at the diagram, to be honest. Okay, this needs to be a little bit taller because it needs to have space for the water to have its thing. So that would go like there. And it would be like that. And then duplicate so that we can make a new part that's here. Basically like that. You got to make sounds. Well, that's going to be interesting. But I'm actually kind of excited to do that part. I think we can have a fun stream making sounds. It could even be an IRL stream. But I'm not going to be able to make them all with my voice. I'll be able to find things like around the house or whatever that can make the noises, but I'm not going to be able to make them all with my mouth. Dirty, the table has horizontal lines. It does, yes, but I think I'm just going to do that with the texture rather than in the model. Just because otherwise that's gonna... I think it'll look really weird. I guess we can try. We can try add the lines and see what it looks like, because it shouldn't take long to do. It's just going to be a copy-paste job. So we can have a look. But I suspect it's going to look really weird. So, okay, there's no point me doing it under there. Even though it should be under there, there's no point me doing it under there because we're not going to be able to see it. So we'll start like there. Okay, and I'm just going to bring it along like that. Duplicate. So it will basically be like this. Duplicate. 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 And duplicate. What do you guys think? Do you think we should have them or not? I'm gonna add, I am gonna add them under here just because it looks a bit weird without them. So. Delete that one. What do you guys think? Do you think they should be there or not? I don't think it looks terrible, actually. I was expecting it to look a lot worse. These actually need to come, like, out. One more. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about them. I think as a texture job, it would work better than this, in my opinion. Also, I need to move this along a little bit further because, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but the second one here is longer. So here you go, boom, boom. That's actually maybe a little bit too long. Let's do like that. And then I can move this one like that. Okay. So it's either like this or in the texture. I'm genuinely not sure how I think it should be done. I think it would just look better in the texture because I think this is just too noisy, right? So boom, gone. Okay. The final thing I need to do is I need to add the funnels just above here. So I don't really know how to do that, if I'm being honest. Probably just a single plane, right? That's like... the problem is I can't really do that with, because it would need to join at like a horizontal, like an angle, which it can't do. So it's gonna have to be like a square funnel. So maybe I could do like this, right? And like this. And then Like that. Duplicate. But then it would have to be like that. Which would look really weird, wouldn't it? Does that look weird? It only looks weird because it's not square, actually. So I think this is too big. But that means the whole thing is too big. Which actually, the whole thing kind of is too big. So, let's do that. And then that. And then move these in one. And then grab that, and that, and that. And then scale them in one. And then I can grab these. This is really hard to tell what I'm looking at. Okay. And then if I just move this one across. I think that looks fine. The part that looks weird is because there's not like a edge around this bit. But what I could do, to be honest, is I could just bring it up like that. I'm going to do that actually. I think that looks fine. So if I duplicate that, boom. There we go. I think that looks pretty good, if I don't say so myself. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a pain in the ass to animate. You think this is my best one? Why, thank you, Wide. I quite like it, actually. I think it's come out pretty well. I'm gonna recolor these funnels, even though they're part of the table. It's just kind of hard to see them. And I would like to see them, so. I mean, this is gonna look shit in game, by the way, just so you guys are aware, because it's not gonna have all these different colors. That it's just all gonna be like, until it has a texture, it's gonna look shit. Water, I'm gonna call it water channels. And then I can do select all of these, marker color, let's do blue. Hello, Bread. Welcome to the stream. Yes, the problem is, right, when I create this texture, right, it now looks like this, which looks significantly worse. I mean, I wish I could keep it like this, right? Actually, I don't know what's happened here. It's now completely broken. It looked much better before. But I wish I could keep it with these colors, but you just can't do that, unfortunately. So, it's a shame. But it's gonna look like this. Good night. I still don't know how to say your name, so I'm not gonna risk trying to say it, but good night. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just gonna check everything is in the correct like groups and stuff. Motor connection. So I'm gonna move these to the top, just for organization, not any other reason. So that's the supports. Those are all fine. Then you got leg 1 and leg 2. I'm going to group these into legs. And then I'm going to make the legs part of the support. So this will be supports. And then I'm going to group these. And this will be the base. So you've got the base and the legs, which are part of the supports. And then you've got the motor, which has the motor legs. I'm going to call this base supports because I know that once the code's generated, it's not going to show up, you know, any differently. So then you have the motor, you got the motor legs, and then you got the springs. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to like exporting this. So I'm going to save the texture first of all. We'll do that first. So I need to find the correct folder, which always takes me ages because I have it in a bunch of subfolders. Here we go. So source, main, Java, nope, not Java, resources, assets, Industria, textures, block, and it's going to go in here. So this is the shaking underscore table. Give that a save. Then we need to do file. Let's save the model first, actually. So I think I just have my models in the root. Yeah, there it is. So shaking table model. Okay, and then we have the Java file. So source, client, Java, dev, tertiwurti, Industria, model, and save. And then we can close this. That's just going to do an update. Okay, that's fine, I guess. So we need to set the package name. Get rid of the comment because I don't want it. We need to make it a normal model, not an entity model. Why are you complaining? Oh, because we need to super off of, I think, root and then render layers. Or is it render layer? What is it? Does anyone know what this is? Is it textured render layers? It's getting cut out? Is that what I'm looking for? No. Is it just render layers? What am I looking for? I'm gonna have to have a look. Oh, just render layer. I was so close. I knew it was one of them. Okay. So that just sets all of these, but these are going to be incorrect actually. So I need to open Blockbench right back up. Because I need to see the layout. Because otherwise this isn't going to be correct. So main is correct, of course, and then the table is in main. Supports is also in main, and then the motor is also in main. And then inside the table we have water channels and we have motor connection. Inside supports we have base supports and leg supports, and then inside leg supports we have leg 1 and leg 2. And then inside the motor, we have the motor legs and then the springs. I don't know why Blockbench doesn't do that for you. It's kind of stupid, but here we are. Oh. Interesting. What's that meant to be? Origin, by the looks of it. I would say so. I would say that's meant to be origin. So I'm going to need to fix all of those. Origin. You know what I can do? There's a bunch of errors here. So I think they're all the same though. So I'm just going to find replace this with origin. Replace all. Which should fix most of the errors. Not all of them. Because the render method is incorrect. So render. Oh, does render not exist anymore? Render might not exist anymore, actually. One thing I'm also going to do, actually, is I'm going to do... what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm doing Copilot, inline chat, create a record for these parts. Thank you. I'm going to put that all the way at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to do a private final parts. And then I'm going to do model parts like this. Replace. And then do that. And then what I can do then is I can just get rid of that, and then I can create a getter for the parts. So I can do get parts. That doesn't work because get parts already exists. Bugger. Get model parts. And I'm going to call this actually model parts. Sure, this can be called model parts as well. There we go. Okay. Get textures from model data. That's not what it's called anymore, right? Oh no, it is called that. Fair enough. So we need obviously the texture location and the entity model layer. So this is just textures block, shaking table, shaking table, and then that's got main. Yeah, okay. We have 3 related problems, which I assume are all in the renderer. That's all fine. It doesn't like this, though. Oh, right, because this needs to be a new shaking table model of that. Perfect. I also need to register this layer location as well. So let's do init, and let's do entity model layer like that. Entity model layer registry, register model layer, shaking table model, like that. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the unused variables in here as well, just to save me some sanity. And then we're going to be ready to try it and see. Actually, I need to go back into Blockbench in a second and create the voxel shape. But after that, then finally, we can go into the game. Okay, so let's go. That's all that done. Okay. Let's go into Blockbench. Open this up. So this is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt because we have rotated cubes. And if you don't know, you can't have rotated cubes in voxel shapes. So I'm gonna kind of just model this out in a couple cubes, just simplify the shape, right? So I'm gonna delete the texture so that I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna do this. Okay. And then I'm gonna duplicate, I'm gonna go up. Okay, like that. Alright, that's fine. Sure, that's fine. That's fine. I could probably stagger this into a couple boxes, actually. So if I do it to there, maybe, and then go up one, and then that means I can just come in to here. Right? Also, only needs to go to there. So that just saves us a little bit of weirdness. This also can go in to there. Okay. Yeah, so this and this, in fact all of this, other than these. So what I will do here is I will duplicate this cube. And I'm just going to box over this because there's a lot of small cubes here and voxel shapes don't like small cubes. So I need to go, what, 2 down, I think, and then bring it along, bring it in, and bring it down. Okay, and then all I can do is just get rid of water channels. I can get rid of the motor. In terms of the motor connection, I'm also going to get rid of that, and I'm just going to replace that with a single cube. Once again, just to simplify as much as possible. And a lot of this should be optimized out, but it's just better to do it myself when I can. So that needs to go to there, that needs to go to there. So then I can get rid of motor connection. And the spring is still there, right? Or is it? No. Okay, that's fine. I want to also get rid of these because these are a little bit too complex. So, oh, also, why is that clipping into that? That doesn't need to happen. Duplicate. I'm gonna basically do this. Okay, let's duplicate, bring it over here. And fuck it, I'll do it for the legs as well. Even though there isn't much going on here, but I can at least just get rid of that. And then duplicate, bring it over here. And then I can just get rid of the leg supports. Here I can bring this up, because that doesn't need to be all the way down there. Okay, I think that's fine. So that's a much more simplified version of the voxel shape. So all I need to do is just move these extra cubes inside of main, because otherwise it might not get included in the voxel shape. So if I now do file, export, voxel shape for fabric, let's go source, main, Java dev 30 Industria, save, and let's make sure we're not saving this because that would destroy our entire model, which would be suboptimal. Let's go into main, Java, and we have our voxel shape. So we can just import this and cut, delete this file, go into our block class, and then where we have this, we can just do this dot, I think it's simplify, which will just try and simplify it a little bit. It might not be able to, but you know, it's worth it if it can do it. I'm going to add a static import for those. Just saves a little bit of code there. Okay. I think, chat, I think that we are done. In theory, completely done, other than obviously the rendering. Let's test it. Let's find out. What do you guys think? What's the percentage chance you guys think that this is going to work? We're talking functionality, right? And the actual rendering of the model. Because we haven't tested the functionality yet, but we should have the I/O ports now. So we should be able to test that. So hopefully that will work. Hopefully the recipe will work, right? Hopefully the rendering's going to work, and hopefully the voxel shape's going to work. That's what we need to work. So it's a lot of things, all of which we haven't tested yet. I reckon there's probably, yeah, I was going to say about a 50% chance. Because there's a lot that could go wrong. But we're going to see. Okay, so initially I'm going to break this one because this is the old one. These are the old ones. We need to place it back down because we added I/O ports. So we're going to place it down. Okay, the voxel shape is incorrect. It's rotated the wrong way. I don't know why. That's interesting. Is the model rotating? It is, yes. Interesting. But the voxel shape isn't rotating. 1 second. Let me check the block again. It should do. It's using rotated shapes. Interesting. Wait, no, it's not. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that then. Okay, it's not that important anyways. That's fine. I consider that working. more importantly, we need to see if this will work. So let's grab ourselves some cables. And I think I said the energy comes in from the top, but I can see. So if I do F3 and B, no, so the energy is in the bottom. You can see by these yellow squares there. Okay, good start. I knew that part was going to work, but still a good start. We don't have any water, so we're going to have to create a fluid pump. So let's grab water, and we're going to want a fluid pump, and then we're going to want a pipe. So the water is going to come in through the top. So let's do this. Okay. Okay, so let's put the pump down. Let's go like this. Oops. Don't do that. Okay. I think it comes out one of the sides. Yeah, there you go. Oops. Yeah, it only comes out that side, I think. So that's fine. It just means we have to do this. Hopefully that will work, as long as obviously this has power, which I think it takes in through the top. Yes, it does. Okay. Oh, right. I think the fluid pump is a little bit broken. So I think even though it says it's connecting on this side, yeah, it's actually not connecting on that side, which is weird. I know, but yeah, there you go. So that works now. Okay. So that has water. It has energy. The next thing to do is going to be putting in the item. And in theory, it should just work, right? So, we need crushed cassiterite. Okay, the GUI is still broken, of course, but... Oh? Is it gonna work? I mean... Wait, no, it didn't work. Wait. What just happened? What is happening? Why is it not processing? Suspicious. What is happening? It worked and now it's not working? Oh, you know what it is? It's the slurry. It's got to be the slurry. It has to be. Wait, no, it can't be. Oh. I know what it is. Wait, no, I don't. Never mind. Never mind, I don't. I thought it was because I wasn't saving to MBT, but I just remembered I am doing that, so that's not the issue. Let's leave the world and join back. Oh. Does saving the world not work at all? We may not be able to save worlds anymore. I don't suppose I can see where we are right now, can we? That's the render thread. I can't get it to pause on the other thread, can I? or can I server thread? Yeah, it's something to do with the chunks. I don't know. I need to figure that out at some point, because that's obviously not good. You know, I should be able to save the world. Okay. Let's try load the game again. And we'll see if we can figure something out. And we'll see. Hello, Forox Eye? I assume is how you're meant to say that. Welcome to the stream. Okay, no, even this world is broken. Look. Oh, never mind. That's something completely different. So why is this not working? Should we have a look? Let's have a look at the code. Let's have a look. So let's go into here. Oh, let me also bring up this. There you go. Now you can also see the game. It's getting a little bit crowded, but here we are. Interesting. So it's not reaching this. So let's go here. Nope. Let's go here. Nope. So that means it has something that's an overflow. Something is in overflow. Oh, never mind. The game's paused. Okay. Let's try a step over then. So bucket inventory is empty. That's empty. That's empty. Okay, so there's clay slurry in there. What did I set the size of the capacity of the slurry storage to be? Oh, I set it to 10,000. I didn't mean to do that. That's meant to be fluid constants dot bucket times 10. Like that. I can't even hot swap that because I need to restart the game for that. I want to start modding on Fabric on 1.21.4 plus, but I can't find any tutorials plus 1.21.2. Do you know of any? Effectively, there are none. And there won't be any. You won't find any because no one is modding on those versions, basically. That's why. I wouldn't recommend modding on those versions either because no one's playing on newer versions. Like I am, for example, I'm the exception here. I'm modding for 1.21.5 and I will eventually update to 1.21.8 as well. But that's because I know for a fact I'm not going to get a release out before 1.22. So in my eyes, it just makes sense to stay on 1.20 or stay on the latest until I can update. And then it's just easier for me to update. But generally, I would recommend just stick to 1.21.1. That's what everyone's using. That's where all the mods are as well. So I'd recommend you just do that, to be honest. But yeah. 1.22 seems to just keep getting delayed and delayed. Or at least in terms of what they're telling us. So Yeah. I need to restart the game, by the way. I don't know why I didn't do that whilst yapping. I should have done that whilst yapping, but oh well. We don't know what 1.22 is wide. They haven't told us yet. Is there a big difference between 1.21.1 and newer versions? Like, is it easy to update? It depends. It massively depends on your mod. Like a mod like this one, which has like a bunch of different things, I had to change so much. It was so much work. But if you have a mod that just adds like a couple blocks that like don't really have much functionality, or like some world gen maybe, then it will be perfectly fine. It won't even affect you. So yeah, that's kind of what it depends on. Why isn't this still working? What is happening? Let's step over for a second. Output, slurry stack. Current recipe is null. Why? So it gets the current recipe, but that's returning an optional empty. Or an empty optional, I mean. Do I need to know Java to mod Minecraft? Yes, you do. Knowing Python, unfortunately, will probably not really help you at all. Yeah, it won't really help you. I think the match method of our recipe is incorrect. Because Python and Java are very different. Whilst, like, they are... That's why. They are both, obviously, programming languages. I don't know why I restarted the game. I could have hotswapped. Anyways, they're just very different languages, right? Like, I mean, you can look at my code right now, and it's probably going to look very different to you than Python. It kind of depends on who you are as a person, I think. One second, I need to close my window. Like, if you are generally, I think, more programming oriented as a person, but if that makes sense, then I think you can very easily switch between languages, and it probably won't cause you much problem. But if that's just not your thing, like you're just doing it maybe just as a hobby, or, you know, something just for funsies, then it's probably going to be quite hard for you. Yeah, as Lime says, if you join the Discord, we have some links that you can use. In terms of like following tutorials for learning Java, there aren't really any good ones. There's a good course by the University of Helsinki, which is one of the links. Personally, though, I wouldn't recommend using any course unless you... Well, I just wouldn't really recommend it. My personal recommendation would be to make projects. And it doesn't need to be anything complex, even. It's just basic stuff, right? The go-to, I think, would probably be like a weather app, right? That may seem completely unrelated to Minecraft modding, but you'll find there's so many parts of that which actually cross straight over into modding. Or like, I don't know, the obvious one is like a banking app, right? Or I I don't know. There's loads of things you could definitely do. Like an RPG game, that's always a good one because you have to develop like a state machine for that. Or well, you don't have to, but you know that would be the ideal way. So that'd be a really good project. Or, you know, those are the ideas I have. Anyways, I'm sure other people can come up with other ideas as well. I'm a little bit lost. What's happening here? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is processing now. So if we now go into the game, let's see. Okay, it's not working, is it? So what it needs to do is when the recipe completes, it needs to take the item out of the tank. So if it can insert it, it inserts it. So that shouldn't be the problem we have here. Input fluid tank. This is fine, I think. Recipe.craft. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so what it needs to do is it needs to say this dot or input inventory. Do I have input inventory? Get stack in slot 0 dot decrement recipe dot input dot stack data dot count. Like that. And then that should basically remove the item. I don't know why it's not still processing though. Why is it doing this? It's stuck up here somewhere. Why would output slurry stack be empty, by the way? Output slurry tank. So what's the output slurry tank? 40,500. So if it can insert... I have a feeling that because of this, it's saying that can insert is leading to false. Because it's a different kind of insertion. So this might just need to be a sinking slurry storage. Okay. If I remove the breakpoint, I think I can just... Oh, I can't leave the world. I forgot about that. Oh, dear. Man. Let's try again. Okay. This should work this time. It's not ideal because I'm not using an output storage. Let me write a to-do. Use output slurry storage. But we can't currently do this because then we can't insert internally. Maybe add a method for internal insertion. Okay. That's a very long to-do message, but... can I add that at the top of the class? Does that make sense to do that? Use output slurry. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. So in theory, that should work. But it's not working. So for some reason it can't insert it. I don't know why not, though. What? What just happened? How did it get to here? Output slurry tank. 40,500. Clay slurry. Output slurry stack. Clay slurry. 40,500. Capacity. 810,000. So why is it not working? Why is it going to there? I'm so confused right now. Okay, this dot variant is equal stack dot variant, and stack dot amount is less than or equal to capacity negative amount. So it's whether the variant is equal to stack variant. So this dot variant is clay slurry, and it's whether that's equal to this variant. So 32051. Yeah, they're not the same. They should be the same hash code, but they're not. So I think I need to just do equals, which is a shame. Ideally, they would be the same hash code, but... let me hot swap that. There you go. Okay. So if I now look at this, we should be able to see this working correctly. Okay, why is it not rendering in the GUI though? That's interesting. If I go to the screen, shaking table screen, slurry widget. Interesting. Very interesting. I am saving it to MBT, correct? Or I am adding it in here. Output slurry tank. And I am saving it to MBT. Slurry tank. Am I reading it from MBT? Yes. Interesting. I don't know why that's not showing up in the GUI then. It could be, actually, now that I think about it, because it doesn't have a texture. Yes, that's correct. So it should use the missing texture, but I'll have to do that later on. Anyways, I'm pretty happy with this. I think that's it for this stream. We've been going pretty much exactly the same length of time we did yesterday. So that's good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, and I will see you all in the next stream. Goodbye.